Hello, good morning. How you doing? This is Lucius Perry on 444. I'm glad that you are here with me. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Lucius Perry on. The topic that I want to talk about today is 5 major keys on finding your greatest self on your way to greatness. And number one, I would love to share with you is accept being alone. A lot of us is starting to notice that a lot of our friends that who we thought was going to be there, a lot of people that who we thought was going to be our business partners, a lot of people that who we may thought we were going to do music with, really wasn't our assignment on our way to our journey. And we wonder why they fade away. And some of y'all start to feel empty inside because you feel like, you know, these people was in your life and it didn't work out to where you started to make yourself feel like you was the bad person. But I just want to be the first person to tell you today, accept that, because the universe had moved those people out your life for a reason, because they could have caused a major chaos in your life. And we have to learn to accept that, you know, things ain't gonna be what it is with certain people, but the universe will move people outside from you to allow the people that's trying to find you, the people that's trying to manifest you in their life. And being alone is like healing. When you start to heal yourself and you start to really love yourself more, and it's okay to be different, but being a people pleaser and mixing yourself around all this mixture and stuff like that, it will never get you to your greatness. That's why you have to be alone to meditate, stay focused, and stay determined. Because if you around all these other distractions, you will never find your true purpose out of life. And you wonder why things never work for you. You wonder why things wasn't going head for you. It's because of the energy that you had around you. And it's okay. Take time when you alone to figure who you are. What was the things that troubled you? You have to write those things down and start to implementing, taking action on, working on these things as you as a person. Because when you is not alone and you out here trying to party up, some of y'all, it ain't nothing wrong having a good time. But this is one of the things that you have to know. When the clubbing stops, just say you get sick all of a sudden and you by yourself. These same people who you thought was your ride or die friends ain't even there. And all that did was clutter more and more depression over you. And you wonder why you alone. Sometimes the good God Almighty does that to clear your path for the right people to come in your life, to change lives and recognize the things that you need to work on yourself before he does bless you with these things. Some of y'all be feeling like, oh, he ain't blessed me. But look at all the noise you got around you. Look at all the drama you got around you. Your name stay mixing stuff. But when you alone, you don't have to worry about people talking. You ain't got to worry about people going within, trying to hurt you at the end of the day or try to find out your deepest secrets. So it's best to be alone. And some of y'all that have this hurting inside, meditate. Meditate. Take out time to quiet your mind. Take out time to ground yourself and gravitate. The aloneness is when you hear God. You can't hear God when you got all these people around you. Because sometimes I'd rather have peace in a day before fame. Yeah, I said it. I'd rather have peace than fame. But it's time to heal, people. And that's number one. Number two, accept where you at today. All of y'all keep looking on these phones, seeing what everybody else got going on. That's why you can't get ahead, because you too busy looking at what everybody else got going on. You need to accept who you need to go in the mirror, Look at yourself, not telling you what to do. This is only for the people that are being awake and don't understand what's going on. This just ain't for no worldly person. This ain't just for somebody that's gonna quit. This ain't for somebody that is really a distraction themselves. This is for the people that won't change. This is a person that's listened to my testimony. This is a person that want to see you grow. I want to see you successful, that you can do better than what you're doing. And sometimes we have to look at ourselves in the mirror, and we have to learn to accept who we are, what we need to fix about ourselves, and what we need to do to get to this greater self. Like, some of us want to lose weight, but we don't want to do the things to work towards that. We want to be smarter, but we don't want to read books. We want to try to get ahead, but don't want to find mentors because we think we already know what it is. We think we got it all figured out, and we don't. Life is all about learning and growing. But you have to accept where you at today, because you always have to understand it's just like a seed. A seed does not become a tree soon as the seed. You have to water it. You have to implement. You have to just focus on that narrow path with it to where you start to see growth. And once you start to see that, you will start to accept where you at to where it changes. Because a lot of places where we at, God don't make the wrong decisions, you hear me? So we have to accept where we at. And if we do want to go somewhere different, that way you don't want nobody to know you, guess what you're going to have to do? Write it part of your laws of attractions. You have to write it down. I talk about this millions and millions of times. Like I said, my videos are going to be very timeless. But accept where you at. Accept people for who they are. And accept what you're about to become. Because there's greatness in you. I'm going to be the first person to tell you this. You got greatness in you. You have a lot to live for. I'm telling you. Just do not accept the wrong things. You know, when people start to accept the wrong things, they wonder why things don't work out the way it is. Try to keep things, and it doesn't really meant to be there. But accept what you are. Accept change, and accept of making a difference. Because if you just sitting around and just thinking that life is just gonna come to you and you're not happy where you at, you got to get off your tail. Yeah, I'm talking about you. You got to get off your butt. You got to get off your butt and make changes, especially if you got kids. They watching every move that you're doing. But you can make changes. Accept what you is now. Look at it as a seed. Water it. Stay focused on what you're trying to do. And everything's going to play itself. So, accept where you at so you can grow. Because if you don't know, you'll never grow. Number 3, working on your commitments. Just really think about, what are you committed to? What are you committed to? Are you committed on working out? Are you committed on reading that whole book? Are you committed on inspiring others? Because we have to really recognize the things that we are committed to. And some of us wonder why we stay in bad relationships. You hear some people say, well, man, I'm always attracting this same person. But at the end of the day, you got to see what you're attracted to. You thinking that. Some people think like, well, I ain't nothing. I ain't got nothing going on in life. I ain't got no money. I'm broke. I ain't got nothing. That's what you going to have. But anything that you commit yourself to, just say you committed to this workout. You did it for 90 days, right? You did it. And then unexpectedly, The change came out of nowhere. Boom, just like that, right? And you wasn't even looking for it. You wasn't even looking for it. But by you being committed on this narrow path, that you were so determined that you wanted that in your life, to where it came to you. It came to you and it brought you change. But if you can be committed to working out, you can be committed in a relationship. A lot of people get in marriages, and I tell this about any man and any woman. Like, if you not worked on any type of commitments before you get yourself involved with somebody, or a long-term relationship, or things to make you greater, that relationship will not work, because you never committed yourself to anything, to where you have a certain standard, a certain moral to yourself, to where, you know what I'm saying, you kept yourself determined and focused on that narrow path of what you was on. But because some people don't even know where they at, they lost. They don't know where they going, because they never sat out to know where they was heading. And that's why things never work out for them, because they all over the place. But once you focus on this narrow path, and you so determined that you realize that you don't need homies, you don't need friends, you don't need these type of people in your life, to where you committed to this, even if they talk about you or they say you acting funny, but at the end of the day, you know what you want. So if you committed to that, and you trust within, and you believing, and you knowing that you work so hard for it, to where the blessings come to you unexpectedly, that's being committed. And a lot of these people that marriages was short-term, or relationships was short-term, and they wondering why stuff ain't work out, is because they never was committed to nothing. Now let's use this on another side of being committed. If you committed to smoking drugs, what's the outcome to that? In the reference of working out. If you can spend $25 on a ball, but you'll say you don't have money to work out at a gym membership, your priorities is messed up. That what you more committed to the drug than you are loving yourself. Commitment is all about loving yourself and working on the things that you love. Number 4, do the things that no one else is doing. And that's a very interesting topic, is how bad do you want it? Like, people always complain about a check, right? Man, I ain't got my check, man. Man, my check, I don't want to like this job because it ain't, you know, they ain't paying me, so I ain't finna do this, I ain't finna do that. Sometimes you got to go all the way out. Sometimes how you outshine people is doing the things that nobody else wouldn't do. Like getting up early in the morning, working while everybody is sleeping, controlling your time and not letting time control you. And like I say, time is a very important factor, because when time is gone, you can't never get that time back. You have to go the extra mile. You have to dig deep. You have to stay on that narrow path that I'm the greatest. You have to say your affirmations. A lot of people don't say their affirmations. God said they lack. They have not because they ask not. Because they don't know that. They so ignorant to where they don't do that. They don't even take our time to read. Like the famous quote they say, if you want to hide $1 million from a man, put it in a book. We can read statuses all day. We can read tweets all day. We can read emails all day. But at the same time, if you don't educate yourself, do the stuff that nobody else is doing. Life's supposed to be challenging. Challenge yourself to this other ability to where you see yourself progressing on the low. It might not be right off the head right now. It's just like these guys that's in the NBA and the NFL. A lot of that time that was the greatest time of these athletes, and they may agree, is when it's behind the scenes, when they're practicing. They go twice as hard to where when it's the game time, they they going the extra mile, like the extra mile, and being dedicated. I'm gonna ask you a question. What was the last thing that you was dedicated to? What is the thing that you think you doing that's people that's around you is not doing? You got to start asking yourself these questions, write them down, and see what answer you come up with. We got to do different what everybody else is doing. I'm telling you, like going work out. A lot of people rather go to the club, drink alcohol every day, don't let their body restore, putting this stuff on top of things, and they wonder why they end up at the hospital. Or they wonder why, stuff is happening. It's because of the things that they is committed to. Like, practice on being a greater person. Practice on speaking to people when people don't speak back. Because guess what? That is your character. Be something that what nobody won't do. It's a lot of people, everybody want to be a thug. Everybody want to be this hard image. Everybody want to be little baby. But it just, to me, like everybody is doing the same thing. Do what nobody else is doing. Do what nobody else is doing. If you in the gym, let's say 3 o'clock in the morning, if it ain't nobody else sitting there, while everybody else is so immune to sleep, well, we do need sleep. But how bad do you really want to change? Practice on smiling. A lot of people try to look so hard to where they don't like smiling. Smile. Do things that make a difference. Be determined. Give it effort. Because if you don't, however, guess what? It'll never come to you. Number five. Are y'all ready to know what number 5 is? Allow negative talk be the fuel to your greatness. Once you're doing good things in your life, if you notice the people that are great, they go through miles ahead of hate. They go through a lot of hate. So they have to be built emotionally strong to avoid the naysayers. And sometimes it could be the people that you done went all the way out for. It be the people you done prayed for, understood their situation, understood who they are, and speaking of truth. Use that as fuel to your fire. To where you don't have nothing to prove to nobody but yourself. Nobody but yourself. Because when you have that light, you have to understand the naysayers are intimidated of your light. Like how they crucified Jesus because he stand for right. They crucified Martin Luther King because he stand for right. But we can have all the worst things that goes on, and they live amongst this world. I speak of truth. Allow that to be the fuel of your fire, and learn to master your emotions on a strong level. Because if you sit up there and you try to fight everything somebody say to you, you're going to become a miserable person. You're going to become so in denial of yourself. You're going to be so easy to be picked to where you always feel like you got to fight. Every battle is not your fight. Every battle is not your fight. You just have to look at it, laugh, and don't give it no type of emotion. Because sometimes a person will look where they at today, they see the growth with you, and they will sit back and say, I'm going to say some disturbing things. Or, well, this is in my spirit to tell you, it tore me. You tore me because it was me. Because I'm the chosen one. And you don't like that because I act on faith. I didn't live under a security matter. I stepped out away from my family. I stepped away from things that people said about me. I overlooked of the things that people try to incriminate me. Because at the end of the day, I'm great. I'm living. I am financially well to where I'm taking care of all of my children. I'm just truly grateful to hit the gym every day. I'm truly grateful of coaching some little boys. And you have to look at that. When people ain't got nothing going, do you notice this? When somebody do something good for somebody, it always be the broke people, people that's by themselves, can't get nobody, is always trying to judge people, but never look in the mirror to judge themselves. You sitting in your mama's bedroom for the last 30 years, and you want to intake on something that somebody that elevated, that moved on away from their parents, and made things possible. Because you didn't make it possible for what you doing. And I just thank God for just keeping me with a strong mind despite of what people say to me. And when he said, people, you know what I'm saying? I don't put a title to who I am, but I know I'm a messenger. And I have enticed many. You hear me? And when I say some of the people I done prayed for, I done listened to their prayers, I done listened to the stuff that they went through. And sometimes that's another great thing towards greatness as well too, is listening. And sometimes a person will tell you themselves, but we don't take out the time to really analyze that. And you know why? Because we expect so much more out of people. We expect so much more. I done had people call me the devil. I done had people call me a beggar. I done had people call me so many things. But that didn't do nothing but build fuel to my fire to where you not gonna stop me. You're not gonna stop me at all. David is still gonna be David. I'm still gonna pick myself up and inspire people. I'm still gonna pick my shoulders up and smile. I'm still gonna be the greatest person that God chose me to be, regardless of what your opinion is. Because things are not working out for you, you have to look in the mirror yourself. You have to look in the mirror yourself and see why these things are not working. You can sit up here all day on Facebook. You can see all day on Instagram, but try to paint this picture of who you say you are, but this is really not you. But I build it as my fuel. When I go rip that rep, when I'm in the gym, when I rep that rep, I'm thinking about what that person said and give me the boost to knock another set out. I knock out everything because I chose to be different. I chose to be motivational. I chose to be inspired. I chose to uplift people. Even the ones that did me wrong or incriminated me, I still come in the place of love because once a wise man told me back in 2017, love is the major key. So let that negative talk be the fuel to your fire. Be blessed.